Welcome to the Beasts of the NFC East podcast. I am your host, Sean Gnitzcavich, and Brian Daboll has officially been fired. It's a new era in the New York Giants. In the meantime, the Commanders stink, and the Eagles win, but they stink it up on Sunday Night Football. Jeremy Goode, what is good?
Really upset about the Daboll news. I thought he was a great coach, and I thought he should have continued to be the coach in New York. As an Eagles fan, upsetting news. Maybe the Giants get a good coach. I don't know how he lasted this long, but the Eagles win this week in Green Bay in the frozen tundra. So I'm happy. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe you're happy, but everybody else who had to watch that game was miserable.
It was
Similar
a
to
tough
everybody.
watch. It was a tough watch as an Eagles fan.
It was.
Oh my God.
It was so bad. I mean, is the YouTube TV ESPN thing still going on? I believe it is.
Yeah.
I'm sure they probably weren't complaining. They're like, "Oh no, I missed this awful game."
Well, that's the thing. It's a good point you make, Sean. You would think that the NFL at this point would like step into to YouTube TV and be like, work it out, figure it out. You would think the NFL would do that, and then you have games like this, and then they're like, maybe they're not going to do something, and yeah, not good. I'm a YouTube TVer, and it's been rough. So you gotta pull audibles, and that game doesn't help.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I have ESPN through cable, and the app didn't even work for me. Like for the past few times I'm trying to use it, sign into provider not working. So thank you for that, ESPN. YouTube TV works well for me, but
I might go back.
That's not
the
biggest.
I'm not even just kidding. I might go back to cable at this point. It's reliable. I'm not watching the game 3 minutes after it happened.
Yeah, I don't know. To be fair, I just use my parents' cable. Saves me money, but I just use it to watch the Fox and the ESPN and all the stations.
It's been a struggle.
Enough about me being a mooch to my parents. Brian Daboll has been fired after 3.5 seasons. After being named Coach of the Year, his first year leading the Giants to a playoff win with Daniel Jones, setting the course in the wrong direction, apparently. And when he was hired, I was excited. I mean, he was like the number one candidate for me. You know, he was coming from the Bills, developed Josh Allen. He had Daniel Jones playing Josh Allen-esque. He has Jackson Dart this year playing Josh Allen-esque. Obviously, different body types, but the aggressive play, the running ability, keeping his eyes down the field, extending plays. I mean, there's a lot of people that are torn in the Giants community, and I am also torn. Plus, I love a big fat coach. I'm not gonna lie, and I don't know. I have a feeling we're going skinny this next go around, especially with Joe Schoen leading the charge. He's all about looks and appearance. But Brian Daboll finishes 20-40-1 as his record as a Giants coach. That's also Joe Schoen's record, by the way, as the Giants GM. In that same amount of games, Jeremy, do you know what Dave Gettleman's record was? If you had to guess, how many more wins? If Joe Schoen's 20-40-1 was Dave Gettleman's record.
I'll say Gettleman had... I'll say Gettleman had 15 more wins.
No, he only had one more loss. One more loss is what he had. Yeah.
Interesting.
One less win and one more loss with that tie.
Yeah, Gettleman was bad. I don't know what am I thinking? Yeah, okay.
He was bad too. But the point is that we're not learning from our mistakes. Dave Gettleman, that was known. This has been the fourth time now, the third time that we've fired a head coach without the GM being fired, and every time it hasn't worked out. First was Tom Coughlin in 2015, retained by Jerry Reese. This is all courtesy of Bobby Skinner. He put it in a nice tweet. And then Reese and McAdoo fired in 2017. Fired Pat Shurmur in 2019, retained Dave Gettleman, fired Gettleman and Joe Judge after 2021. So it's the same old thing. Now there's reports that maybe Joe Schoen won't be retained, but there's also reports that he's leading the head coaching search. So I don't see – there's some people thinking, okay, he'll find the head coach, and then they'll be like, you know what? now that we think about it, Joe, you're gone. Like, I just don't think that's possible, because if Joe Schoen brings in a coach with that coach under the assumption that they're working with Joe Schoen and then they get rid of it doesn't make sense. I believe Joe Schoen is here to stay. There's pros and cons to this. There are pros and cons to this. And most of them are cons. I mean, he hasn't assembled a good roster, a good enough roster. He has great pieces. You know, Brian Burns, that trade was actually awesome. Some might have questioned it. But the fact that we did let Saquon Barkley walk. And I like Cam Scadaboo. I like Tyrone Tracy. I like keeping it young. And I disagreed with people like, well, we're paying Darius Slayton the amount of money that Saquon Barkley was paid. And honestly, the way Darius Slayton has been producing, like, he had a great game actually against the Bears last week, finally. But, like, he's been so inconsistent. Yep. And I don't think you can justify that. The fact that we let Xavier McKinney walk, who is still dominant, like top 5 safety in the league, just to sign Javon Holland the next year to a similar contract because we realized that we sucked. The fact that we, like, didn't invest in cornerback position. And then also, I think the fact that we hung on to Deontay Banks because he was a first-round pick, while he sucked, now we have to play him because our corners are so injured. But like, that was a decision they were saying was probably coming from Joe Schoen because he wanted to make sure his draft picks looked good. So it doesn't look good. The only thing that I can think of as a positive right now of keeping Joe Schoen is that we do have a lot of great young pieces, and I wouldn't want a new GM to come in and try to start from scratch again, which I don't think they would regardless, because when you're under a rookie quarterback contract, that's when you start to try to build around them, take advantage of that cheap quarterback contract. And Jackson Dart is playing great. He played great until he went out with a concussion, which some people blame that on Brian Daboll too. Like, get him, like, you know, stop having him risk injury, even though he's playing hard and fighting through it. But why is he running for 20 yards when we're down, 17 points against the Eagles, to try to get a touchdown and to make it look better? People, all these arguments. I don't know, Jeremy. I don't know. Obviously, you were sarcastic when you said that you were sad about Brian Daboll.
I was.
Yes. Okay. Yes. And it's funny because I keep looking back to when the Giants hired Joe Judge and you guys hired Nick Sirianni, and Nick Sirianni was just fumbling through his press conference like a freaking doofus. And I was like, oh, good job, Eagles. Good for you. You guys found a winner. We had Joe Judge, and he's got you fired up. He's talking about running through tables, running through walls. He comes from Bill Belichick. He's taking this thing on, even though he was a special teams coordinator. And we're like, okay, well, that's weird. I guess maybe he'll be the next John Harbaugh. He was not.
Right.
He was not. He was garbage. He was laughable, which I think is why people like me and a lot of people I talk to, people you see on Giants Twitter, you see people like wanting to keep Brian Daboll because, he's worked so well with Dart. He's got Dart operating so well, but we're losing games that we shouldn't be losing. And in all honesty, like, it doesn't seem like the locker room, as much as they loved him because he was a player's coach, nobody's like tweeted how sad they are. It seems like people knew that there was a leadership quality lacking. So, yes. Was Brian Daboll the lesser evil over Joe Judge? Yes. Pat Shurmur? Yes. Ben McAdoosh? Yes. But the bottom line is, well, Ben McAdoo, I don't know, man.
No, McAdoo is bad. You're right. I would probably agree with you.
Which, Ben McAdoo had like a better playoff. Well, no, he lost in the first round of the playoffs, but his first season, he did bring us to the playoffs as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then was fired after benching Eli Manning, essentially, for Geno Smith. That was exactly what happened.
Yes.
Which maybe that wasn't wrong, because Geno Smith ended up having a lot of good years of football after that. But I'm going to need a coffee for this one.
Yeah, I mean, I just where to go off of that. It's tough because they draft the Giants draft a quarterback, and then they go. And at that point, I guess it's too late to fire a coach. They already decided to retain him after the season. You want to see what Daboll could do with Dart. Dart's doing pretty well overall, still losing games. I just think there's just it probably should have been let go at the end of last year, maybe even earlier. Mm-hmm. At a certain point, you're just losing too many games if you're the Giants, and Daboll just just wasn't a good. It's not very complex when you look at Brian Daboll's career as a head coach. He's obviously been in football forever. He's done a good job basically every stop of the way, from Alabama to Buffalo, etc. Head coaching's different, obviously. It's a hard job. You're the CEO kind of the whole team in the coaching department, and just didn't press the right buttons. Wasn't winning games. Was losing games up 10 a lot this year, which is that
was the
a way
Bears
to be fired. So I think that was the icing when the Giants had leads going to the fourth, 2 scores, and obviously 2-score games in today's NFL isn't like maybe it used to been. Teams can blow 2 scores in the fourth easily, but the Giants just do it all the time. And so you're sort of seeing that, hey, we might have something here where we can finish games and we can win and play decent football with a decent roster, not a great roster, but yeah, like you said, a decent roster with pieces that should be winning more games than we are, and they're blowing them at the end. So I think that this was the time to do it. It's kind of weird though, because I don't know, when you hire a head coach, maybe it would be strategic if he just played out the year. So I don't know. So you could figure out a head coach to go with the quarter. I don't know what the strategy is there. So it'll be interesting. But yeah, go ahead.
These are my thoughts here on why the firing happened now. I think first off, they're sick of it. Like another fourth quarter 10-point lead with less than 4 minutes. But this is also an opportunity for Mike Kafka to show that maybe he is the coach moving forward. And Mike Kafka was tasked with developing Patrick Mahomes. So when we drafted Jackson Dart, that was one of the things. Like they put him on that same role that they did with Patrick Mahomes. Now he's been the offensive coordinator. And this would be the only way, really, that there could be continued success with Jackson Dart, like where he wouldn't have turnover. Some people are saying we go for a defensive coordinator head coach and try to retain Mike Kafka as an offensive coordinator, which I don't know if he will. He's had head coaching opportunities like the past 3 years. He hasn't gotten one. I know the Giants blocked him from going actually to the Seahawks to be the offensive coordinator a couple years back because they wanted to retain him. I think that was more so for consistency because we were losing Wink Martindale that same season and we didn't want to look like we were just a sinking ship and everybody wanted to get off it. But Mike Kafka has done fairly well. And if you're looking for consistency, Mike Kafka, if he is correlated with Jackson Dart's success, Jackson Dart is, like, if you look at the numbers, having fantastic success this season. And it's not just all the rookie hype and all the swag and the confidence and the dancing. It's, if you look at the numbers, this is another tweet from Bobby Skinner of Giants Nation show. But with year 1 and 2 quarterback rankings and EPA per play out of 37 quarterbacks of year 1 and 2 quarterbacks, and this is like 37 total quarterbacks, but this is only ranking the year 1 and 2s. Drake May is 3rd out of all EPA per play quarterbacks. Jackson Dart is actually 12th. Caleb Williams comes out at 18th. Jaden Daniels is actually all the way at 21st, just because we are an NFC East podcast. But that's kind of crazy. Like Jackson Dart, like an EPA per play out of all the quarterbacks of the past 2 years is in 12th.
Mm-hmm.
Not too bad. Not too bad as a rookie, especially without a Malik Neighbors, without now Cam Scadaboo for a few games. So if Mike Kafka is responsible for any of that, I'm very curious to see how he operates this offense this season. And honestly, if Jackson Dart continues to look good, if he continues to progress and look like a clear, not just rookie of the year candidate, but somebody who can play in the pocket, make good decisions, still use his legs. I still want him to be aggressive. I think that Mike Kafka has a pretty good case to being either the head coach or us trying to retain him for whatever we need to pay him to be our offensive coordinator. And which would look good for him too, if you think about it. Like if he stays as offensive coordinator and Jackson Dart continues to develop, then that just continues the case that he's a quarterback guru. And then the next team drafting early that is looking for an offensive-minded head coach to develop a young quarterback, I feel like he'd be at the top of the list. True? Jeremy?
I don't know if I love Kafka, to be honest. I think
That's fair.
I think that Kafka's been too far into the stink. Yeah, maybe he's helped this year for sure. Again, though, in everything you said just now is true, Sean. The stats are
Yeah.
interesting, and I get why you want to see Kafka. That makes sense. Don't get me wrong, but um, it's going to be tough when teams have a book on um, Jackson Dart, a yearbook, not an actual yearbook, a book of the year that he had his first year in the NFL. And we've seen it a lot with rookie quarterbacks. They do really well their rookie year for what it's worth. Then it's tough for them to adjust. How do they get to the consistency level of a Drew Brees, of a Phillip Rivers, of a Ben Roethlisberger, where they get over that hump and they just become the elite quarterback year in and year out? We will see. Kafka, I think, is a controversial name for a lot of reasons. Um, I like that he's getting the chance for sure, that it sounds like he is. The problem, and I don't know, there's nothing the Giants can do. The problem is this year is kind of like it's kind of like a free money year that had consequences, but like after this year, you're going to expect them to what? I mean, how many passes like are Giants fans going to accept where like year after year it's just a bad record? That was the problem with this year. At a certain point, you know you have a rookie quarterback, but he's playing well. You got to expect to win at a certain point. And next year, you're going to have a first-year head coach. You don't know how that's going to go. Expectations. It's just tough if you're a Giants fan. At a certain point, you want to win, and it's just getting harder and harder because you're restarting at different phases with coaches, quarterbacks, GMs. It's not lining up, and it's going to be difficult going forward. And it's not. It's going to go beyond. Again, you get one honeymoon year with the quarterback his rookie year, and that's it. And after that, it's sort of like, what have you done
It's
for
time
me
to go.
lately? Yeah, what have you
Time to
done for
go.
me lately? Is it fair? Is it completely fair? Maybe not, but these. I joke with you all the time, Sean. These New York Giants fans haven't seen like winning consistency for at least a decade, really 15 years more or less. So at a certain point,
Wow.
like the clocks are
Yeah.
just like they've started and they're different clocks that aren't aligned. It's a difficult
Well, yeah, with the
situation.
Joe Shane being retained, and
Yeah,
honestly, if I guess you could make the argument now. I mean, you're 3 years going into your fourth year as GM. Like this is your roster. The secondary holes, those are your fault. The lack of depth in the secondary, that's your fault, Joe Shane.
yeah,
Like the lack of offensive weapons outside of Malik Neighbors. But then you see when he goes down, we're relying on Darius Slayton, Wan'Dale Robinson, Jalen Hyatt can't even see the field. We'll see if maybe
yeah.
that changes with Mike Kafka. Maybe he was in Brian Daboll's doghouse. We'll see. We'll see how that all goes.
And,
But
and
it's just we need him now because now if you want to make the argument that like he built these great pieces that everybody's excited about, the ones that got us into these positions where we were up 10 points in the fourth quarter but weren't able to finish.
yeah.
That's the argument, and now you just need those other pieces to just really drive it home. That's fine, and that's like the only thing that makes me kind of like retaining Joe Shane is that I do like a lot of our exciting pieces, but that also makes it a good point for a new GM to come in because we have a good starting ground to build on.
This is why it's difficult. The reason why Joe Shane and uh, uh, Brian Daboll kept their jobs this year was they said to ownership, they said to Mara, we need a quarterback. It hasn't worked earlier. Let us draft a quarterback. We'll right the ship. They got their quarterback. They didn't right the ship. And the problem now becomes if you bring in a head coach, maybe you do have to draft internally too, or not draft, hire internally with Kafka or whoever, just because he's familiar with Dart. Because a new head coach that comes in, yeah, they'll adjust to Dart, but new head coaches always want their own quarterback. They always want to pick their own quarterback. And obviously, the way Dart's playing, you could be in a lot worse cases as a new hiree head coach and walk into a second-year Jackson Dart. Don't get me wrong. But the reason why you hire a new head coach is because you don't have a quarterback, and that head coach is going to get the quarterback that they want. It'll be interesting how this develops. Maybe things change this year, but again, it's about next year. It's about the years after. This year's going to change. Or next year's going to change. It's not going to be like this year. Interesting situations for the Giants.
It is interesting, and I will say this too. The Giants are looking at this is the reports is that like a lot of like the favorites, they're leaders, and a lot of them are defensive coordinators. Like I think that they want to keep Kafka. I think the way that and it's so early. I mean, dude, it's like we still have like 8 more weeks until we hire anybody, But Joe Schoen is leading this charge. And one thing I was going to say about getting the quarterback, the funny thing is that this was Brian Daboll's guy. Like it was made known. Like Joe Schoen, yes, was like he was in on Jackson Dart too, but it was Brian Daboll leading the charge. And Joe Schoen was even like this is his guy. Like this is who we want. Like this is his guy. Like, and you could tell. Like so the whole people maybe think Mike Kafka doesn't have any hands on it is because like Brian Daboll was literally like it was like a romanticized relationship with Jackson Dart. Like he literally talked about how much he loved him. He kissed him on the head. There was that Connor Hughes tweet about how like he walked over gingerly after the game and grabbed him by the shoulder. Like it's that's a reason for people to want Brian Daboll to stay because of their love for Jackson Dart and how much they think that he and dude, I love Daboll. I really do. I think he's going to go on and be a great offensive coordinator somewhere else. Not the Bills, which is what I kept saying, but then I was reminded, I guess, like when they split up, Brian Daboll and Sean McDermott did not like each other, so I do not think that's happening. I think that Mike Kafka, I mean, we have to see. Like, this is all theoretical, too. Maybe Mike Kafka goes, and maybe it was really Brian Daboll that was keeping this thing afloat, and Mike Kafka shits the bed, Mm-hmm. So this is all theoretical. The one thing that Mike Kafka did do that I really like as his first thing as interim head coach is announce that Jameis Winston will be the starter on Sunday instead of Russell Wilson if Jackson Dart doesn't clear concussion protocol. So obviously if Jackson Dart does, he's our starter. He's our best chance to win. He looks great, and he's what the fans want to see, especially because we're playing at home against Green Bay. But thank gosh, because if Brian Daboll deserved to be fired, Russell Wilson, he's deserved to be fired. Shane Bowen still deserves to be fired, but I guess they don't think that there's anybody capable of calling a defense on our defensive staff other than Shane Bowen. So whatever. That's all garbage. But thank gosh, Russell Wilson era looks like it's officially over. So that's good.
It's funny too with Shane Bowen. I keep on remembering like a lot this weekend. Wink was your defensive coordinator beforehand.
Yeah.
What a downgrade that is.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, people argued because, like, Wink's defense, like, the numbers weren't great, whatever. But, dude, I'm telling you, if Wink
it's better than this.
If Wink Martindale was our defensive coordinator with this defense, it was like all of the design blitz with all of our pass rushers and everything. Like, man, it'd be good. It would be. Oh yeah. He would take advantage of it so much more. I think Drew Phillips would have like 5 sacks in the seasons too, like using people in different positions.
It'd be interesting to see his teams with rushing. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's been disastrous. And like by no means, like they said that they're retaining the remainder of the staff, but like there's also been implications that there might be some tweaks. I don't know if that means that Shane Bowen goes, if this continues to go and they just keep pointing fingers. But yeah, and the Russell Wilson benching is like the reason why we lost that Bears game is because Jackson Dart went out. Like it's like if you were watching the game, you saw Jackson Dart gets hit, concussed, loses a tooth, whatever. It sucks. As soon as I saw him put on that freaking face mask and head to the locker room, and they said he wasn't returning, like I think everybody's hope was just lost. And Russell Wilson played like Garbaggio as always, just went down the frickin' pooper, and we lost that game. And honestly, I think Russell Wilson entering that game is – I think if Jackson Dart finishes that game Obviously, I don't think the Giants fire Brian Daboll after a win on the road too, which is something we haven't been able to do for like the past whatever 10 games, 12 games, 15 games. It's been a lot of games since we haven't won on the road. Yeah, I think Russell Wilson lost in that job. So I think it's only fair if you're firing people for not doing your duties, that Russell Wilson rides the bench. So
yeah, especially
Russell
when
Wilson, let's ride the bench.
you have him and you have Jameis Winston. Both of them would have been great candidates at the deadline to trade. Even you're not going to get. I mean, you'd get a lot more for Jameis, but you'd get something for Wilson. You know.
Yeah,
you keep both.
If Jair Alexander is getting a 7th for him, I think
right.
Russell Wilson could have gotten
For a quarterback
7th.
to be on the bench, yeah. So
yeah,
I was kind of echoing that all of training camp, saying, why does this team have 3 quarterbacks who could start at a certain point in the season? Not be great starters. But all of them are capable of starting for sure. And didn't do the Giants any good with both of them sitting on the bench. We see Russell, and then Russell Wilson loses a game in Chicago. I will say there is a chance that the Giants could have lost that even without Wilson entering the game. It's a lot more rare, in my opinion. But we did see the Denver game. They have blown leads. So, but yeah, Wilson, he was a reason ultimately in this one. Just bad.
I really think that the whole team is just deflated too when they see Russell in there over Dart.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it is true. Like there was a spark with Dart when he came in. I think that pretty much covers most of my Daboll thing. I guess the one thing that I wanted to talk to you about, and I guess we've been talking only about the Giants, but this is probably the biggest news, especially with the Commanders game being a stinker and the Eagles winning, but kind of a stinker. I think the Giants, and it's been said, I guess there's been anonymous offensive coordinators, offensive coaches that said like that is the most desirable job right now. The Giants have a top 5 pick, currently number 3 for those who are watching Take-a-thon, which is pretty good. My vote is wide receiver with that pick, but we'll see. A lot of season left. I thought we were picking Cam Ward at this time last year, which I guess it's best that we didn't at this point, but we'll see how it goes moving forward. Jackson Dart, who's looking great, like we said, 12th in EPA per play among all quarterbacks of the past 2 seasons, 37 quarterbacks. We got Malik Neighbors coming back, Cam Scatterboot, and a great defensive line. I mean, and a good second-year quarterback he'll be on a rookie contract to build around. I mean, it's it's not bad. And our O-line has actually been playing pretty decent for once. So, I mean, I think we are the number 1 spot. Like Titans right now are the only ones available. Dolphins might become available. Browns might become available. I mean, let's be real. Like, how would you the Giants are obviously number 1 there.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you word it in a different way, if you word it the other way, they have the most talent and they've done the least amount with it. So, yeah, I guess they're the most desirable. I think coaching in New York is something to put into account too. I think that that's a factor for some people who are looking to get hired. Are they up for the challenge? Yes, no. I think that's realistic too. But I would say, yeah, talent wise, sure. They have the most out of all those teams. Yeah.
I think I would compare it to the Bears. The Bears underperform. They have a promising, and Caleb Williams didn't even produce at the same level that Jackson Dart has been producing during his rookie year. But he still had that number 1 buzz. He still has all the talent. They had great talent around him. When they built that team for Caleb Williams, for his rookie season, people thought they were going to make playoff strides,
Yeah.
So I think, and they got the number 1 coach in Ben Johnson, I think, last year in the hiring process. So I think my name's right now, my number 1, I really like Clint Kubiak. He scored 44 points twice with the Seahawks this year. Makes Sam Darnold look like he's MVP, got Jackson Smith and Jigba on an offensive player of the year campaign to break like all the receiving records. So I like that. I like Clint Kubiak a lot, but other names I've seen, Mike McCarthy. I hope that's a joke. Steve Spagnuolo.
Please stop.
Dude, that would be. I think the Giants fans would revolt so hard, dude. Like, and I've heard Giants fans be like, you know what? I'm thinking about becoming a Bills fan, and I want to vomit in their mouths because that's bullshit. True fans bleed blue, and not the Buffalo Bills blue.
Leave the blue.
New York Football Giants blue.
Who was the third name? Who was the third name?
Was that?
Who was the third name?
Steve Spagnuolo has been a big one. John Gruden, everybody wants because John Gruden had like a really good quarterback interview with Jackson Dart. Like, I don't think that's realistic at all.
Right.
And also, John Gruden hasn't won a playoff game since 2007.
Yeah,
that's courtesy of Jordan Renan of ESPN. But yeah, I don't know. It's too early to say, but Clint Kubiak's my favorite. I know that people want like a leader of men. Who's to say that he couldn't be? His dad, Gary Kubiak?
Gary.
Gary, yeah. I mean, he was a great coach, great player, and his son looks like the next great offensive mind, and that seems to work out with Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay and Matt LaFleur. So maybe not Mike McDaniels, but Mike McDaniels also is like high as hell all the time, and I don't think Clint Kubiak is. So I think he'd probably be pretty respected.
If Arizona fires John Gannon, could I interest you in a Jonathan Gannon?
Not a defensive mind, I don't think. I'm not really, especially like not even like a really good proven defensive mind. Like, if it's like,
that's a kicker.
Yeah. Dude, I don't know. Do you think Brian Daboll's going to go to the Eagles?
No, I don't think he will. I think the Eagles every Eagles fan's holding out hope that McDaniels finally gets fired in Miami, so that he can come to Philly. That would be awesome. But I don't think maybe as a consultant, maybe, but I don't know. I don't know what Daboll wants for his future. I assume he wants another head coaching job eventually. I don't see it coming next year, maybe the year after. But I don't know what he want. If he wanted to be a consultant for the offense, I'd be interested. Obviously, it's up, two parties, the tango term. So we'll see. I'd be interested though as a consultant.
Yeah. But you don't see any other team like that will probably fire their head coach, or you think a new head coach would want to go to, like Dolphins? Do you really want to take on the contract?
Dolphins need a new quarterback. That's but the Dolphins just don't have any. They've traded all their players too. Who else? Tennessee. Yeah, Tennessee sucks.
No
the Giants. The Giants. They have a lot of talent. It's just. I wonder if a head coach would consider just how miserable the team's been over the last several years. Maybe not, but.
Well, then you can be coach of the year if you lead them to a playoff.
Yeah, that's true. It's all lined up. But I wonder too. Some coaches, I bet a lot of coaches would be eager to get their hands on Jackson Dart. Yeah. Interesting for sure.
Yeah, but I think that's enough. I mean, because it's all speculation. You got a whole rest of the season to talk about potential coaching candidates, and if you do want to go to the game, the Giants ultimately did lose 20-24 after being up 20-10 with less than 4 minutes, which was, just kind of hilarious. Darius Slayton finally caught the ball, had some big plays, super efficient. Theo Johnson actually caught the ball. I don't think he actually had any drops in this one. 7 catches for 75. It was good to see Theo Johnson be who we want him to be. And it's funny because I put in this game. Like Jackson Dart although he's been really efficient, has not been like passing for a lot of yards.
Right.
But I would like the one bet prior to going to this game, because I know that the Bears cornerbacks were injured and they don't really have a good pass rush. I was like, Jackson Dart's going to throw for 200 yards. And he did in the first half. I think he was like 5 yards short. But he looked the best he's looked all season and was getting the most out of the team and was super efficient with his legs. Another 2 rushing touchdowns and like was good and defiant. Obviously, he had that the fumble, which knocked him out of the game. But that was like, I mean, that was a fluke. That wasn't
unfortunate.
Crazy. Yeah, it was just like that's like somebody like blaming an interception on like a tipped pass, but the guy was behind him. It's like you should have seen it. It's like,
Right.
you can't do it. But there's really nothing else. I think most of the dialogue about that game goes into the fact that, well, first off, Young Wei Koo was efficient, so that's good. And Tyrone Tracy Jr. finally got the bulk of the carries again and got the bulk of the snaps and was pretty efficient running the ball. So I like to see that. Definitely do like to see that. And I'm curious to see how different plays calls come with Mike Kafka, but we won't even really know that if Jameis Winston is the quarterback, because I think he'll call the game for Jameis Winston and not a Jackson Dart. So we'll see Sunday. Hopefully Jackson Dart plays. I guess we could talk about the Commanders. Lions, the Washington Commanders lose at home to the Detroit Lions, who spank them 44-22. Yeah, the Commanders. I think you had some points on this, Jeremy. What do you want to say about this game?
Commanders are just so bad, Sean. They're a really bad football team. I don't care if Mariota's playing. They weren't playing good football with Jaden Daniels when he was healthy. This team missed the mark. I thought they were missing the mark in the spring when they went the route that they did with the signing older players. Not the strategy for today's NFL. It's reconfirming just how it was bold. And like I've said every week, you give them credit for trying to take advantage of Jaden Daniels' rookie contract. It just missed the mark completely. You got to get younger. Their defense sucks. Oh my God. It's Detroit. Yeah. Detroit is a great offense, but their defense is still so awful.
So bad.
Yeah.
Treylon Burks, dude. Treylon Burks was unlocked. Averaged 19.3 catches per carry, per reception, 3 for 58. And then their veteran old man Zach Ertz was second with 54 yards.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think we talked about this enough, but like the Washington Commanders are the oldest team in the league, which we have talked about how they signed old players, and that's stupid.
Yeah.
But yeah, average age 28.1. It's the oldest roster in the NFL, and the first time an NFL's team average roster has exceeded 28 years since 2012.
Wow.
And I'm curious to see what team that actually was, because I wonder what happened with that team. What was was it the Eagles in 2012?
It might have been just because I think 2011 was when they had such a miserable blow up year. So, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out.
I'd be guessing there, but yeah, this it's funny too because Washington last year they were squeaking. They weren't beating teams like by much. They were squeaking past teams, and you understood it was their honeymoon year. New head coach, new quarterback. It only gets harder, guys. It's the NFL, harder schedule, and they've regressed like significantly since last year. If they were playing the way they did last year, maybe it'd be a little more interesting. They're not even doing it. They're playing worse. Yeah, I don't care if Danielson. They weren't playing well with Danielson.
No. They weren't. And also, it sucks. They lost Marshawn Lattimore. He was playing pretty garbage before that. Trey Amos, I think, he has a leg injury too, and he had some good moments, but some bad moments.
He's sort of been half and half rookie year.
Yeah, I mean, he's rookie corner. Yeah, but Mikey Sanders still you see corner regression. I mean, we're kind of seeing it with Drew Phillips too. Like we kind of hailed him even at some moments this year as like one of the great slot corners, and he's looked like crap. Same with Mikey Sanders. So like he has not played up to par, and that probably has to do too with like a defense around him that blows. I feel like we say this every week about your edge rushers are either, well, first off they were mid and now they're injured, or they're old and now mid. So I mean, it's man, Adam Peters, dude. How do you?
It's I just feel like he's like the Washington had like the second most cap space in the offseason, right?
Yeah, we were talking about how they were destined to just explode, and we both criticized their moves, and we criticized some of their draft decisions too. And so many good running backs in this draft, and I know that like people got excited about Bill Krosky Merritt, and like I feel like I've shit on him every week, but it's just because why was that? It's not his fault. It's the fault. Like
No.
honestly, you should have kept Brian Robinson too. Like
Yeah.
Brian, I know you got to trade whatever, but like you could have used him this season, and it's not just because Austin Eckler went out. It's because like he would have still been your best, most efficient running back.
Totally.
Yeah. Anything else about the Commanders?
Just a bad, yeah. But you're right. You said it like a second ago. They just blew all their money. They just blew it on guys who have had good careers, who are sort of on the other side of their careers, and it's a bold strategy. It usually doesn't work. It really didn't work this time. It just failed. And Washington's in a point where, like, holy smokes, everything looked great last year. Building this year going forward, just the opposite. Where do you go? I mean, yeah, I did use a healthy Daniels this year, but like I can't even guarantee Daniels is going to be healthy going forward anytime during next season, the season after, because of the way he plays. He's pretty reckless because of his body. He's so lean. That's not even a guarantee that you're going to have 15, 16 games of him even. So I don't know. Washington, like it's all going backwards.
Yeah, and they say Jaden Daniels is eligible to come back maybe by week 13 because, like, when he dislocated his elbow, even though as gross as it was, there was no tendon tears or anything.
Right,
so,
it avoided tears, right?
But do you even want to risk his injury for the remainder of the season, or do you want to just let Marcus Mariota
shut him down for the shut him down for the year? This team stinks. They lose every game. There's no reason to play him. Only give him more rest is probably even better. You can't put him out there. And also, if you put him out there, you sort of just show like he kind of like becomes a bit of a loser in a sense where like he's out there playing and they're still losing. That's not his fault necessarily, really. But again, he said you put him out there, the stats are going to compile up. The people are going to look at it and be like, "Hey, he's playing. We're not winning." Yeah, it's bigger too. Obviously, it's bigger with the defense, but like, there's that component as well, I think.
Yeah. Do you think if everything goes wrong and the Commanders finish with like a 4-13 record, do you think that Dan Quinn should be fired, and do you think he will be fired?
I think that he could be fired. I think that ultimately he won't, but I think that I think Peters is more responsible. I think he's just assembled such a stupid roster. And I was adamant about this from the start. Like it didn't make sense. But I think Quinn's safe. I think Peters is probably safe too. But next year, gotta win. If it's anything like this, or even like missing the playoffs, they're both gone probably.
Yeah, because Jaden Daniels, like, you have to take advantage of his rookie contract, especially rookie of the year, taking you to the NFC.
And then after next year, you're gonna probably want to give him an extension in the summer. So timing.
All right. Well, I guess we'll go to the frozen tundra of Lambeau, where the Philadelphia Eagles won 10-7 over the Green Bay Packers in a snooze fest of a game. I guess if you like defense, and you were probably pretty stoked about it, but
punting.
No, or punting if you're a big punting fan. Yeah, punting was freaking on a new level. Jeremy, how do you want to talk about this game?
Sean, this game was straight out of 1946, right after the war. We get a 7. We get it's a one score kind of game, and not one score. Like it was a one score game ultimately. We're literally talking one score. It felt like that. Defenses were great. It was cold, obviously, very cold. Eagles offense was awful. Hurts was awful. Fortunately, Devontae Smith is phenomenal. He always is. Saquon did what he could. Pass game had a big play. Offensive line is looking a little shaky on the run or with the run. They're blocking for the run. Tough game. It wasn't entertaining. you don't like seeing your offense play that way. I think Green Bay is a good team. They're very injured right now, so I don't know if they're a good team with what they are. Even when healthy, I don't think they're great. They just have not played great football year round. Week 1 was great. Week 2 was pretty good. Ever since, they've just been pretty underwhelming in my opinion. They've won. They're good enough where they can win in those fashions. Just don't think they're an amazing team ultimately. It's a tough game for the Eagles, though. They go on the road. They play in that kind of environment and that weather on the road. So that counts for something. Offense just has you just can't finish with 10 points in a football game. I mean, I guess you can if you give up less, but this offense just should be a lot better. I don't know what it is with them. Fortunately, the defense was unbelievable. They just didn't give up any points until the end where they were finally broken. Fortunate that Jalen Carter played great. Quinyon Mitchell played great. New guy Jalen Phillips was amazing. Holy smokes, he was the best player on that team. Great against the run, got in the backfield pretty well. This team is different with Nakobe Dean healthy.
Nolan Smith.
And Nolan Smith. This team is not good against the run without Dean. When you put Dean on the field, they are pretty good against the run. Who else? Jomo was great. I'm missing someone, I think, on the defensive line. The defensive line
had a nice sack.
Jalix Hunt was nice too. Yeah, he's had a good year. The sacks haven't been there. The pressures have. His quickness has been too. So the defensive line was great, and everything. And then the Eagles. I don't know if you saw at the end, Sean, on 4th and 6, the Eagles throw not a Hail Mary, like a go 9 route to AJ Brown to turn it. It was like, geez, this game, but it's it's you collect the win, you move on, you hope you play better. That's not going to work against Detroit next week, even at home. No. They score a lot of points, and I don't think it will. I think that the weather kind of impacted it, but I need better from Hurts ultimately. I think that there were plays to be made that he didn't make, some not great play calling from Patullo, but there are plays to be made. He's overthrowing a lot of guys, underthrowing a lot of guys, not having routes develop, not having plays develop, and not seeing that. And then having to scramble. Either he didn't get sacked, which was nice, but like scramble, just not take advantage of players downfield. I'm missing some points, but just I'm just glad they survived, but not really, really discouraging for the offense. In the last 2 weeks, too, with this team, Vikings game, the offense will look great. Giants game, the offense looked amazing. So it's discouraging after a long bye week, but maybe that's just the NFL too. It's you got to give credit to the Packers. No one's injured on that Packers defense, and I think that the defense is pretty good as a whole. They have players at every level. McKinney, oh my God, he's great. Parsons is great. They checked Parsons pretty well. There was one play where he got loose. Jalen threw it away, but it was, I mean, he's an unreal player. They have great linebackers too. Rashawn Gary.
Hedger and Cooper. Yeah.
Defense, Hedger and Cooper. And
Quay Walker.
I don't know if their defense is good enough where they can hold the Eagles to 10 points, but they certainly did. So I'm just glad the Eagles won, honestly.
I guess they are good enough then.
Yeah, maybe. That's what I
saw Lane. Yeah. I know Lane got roughed up a couple times. I feel like every game you see him like go off to the sideline at least once.
Came back in the fourth.
Held up, no sacks.
That's big for this team. This team, I think Jalen takes a lot of sacks, and too many that he shouldn't. They hurt the team ultimately. Not having a sack may well be the difference in this game. Not having multiple sacks is definitely the difference, I'd say too. Yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about this Eagles team? Or are you ready to move on to next week?
I'm ready to move on to next week for sure.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think after watching that game, I think everybody was.
And especially in the Thursday night game was a 10-7 game too, right?
Oh yeah, it was garbage. Broncos Raiders. Yeah.
That Broncos team. I'm not like I mean, Eagles should have beat them, and I'm not like bitter like just saying this. They have squeaked by so many. Yeah, true. On the road too. they have squeaked by so many. They are such a fraudulent team. They're okay, but they're not what their record is. But they're in the AFC West, Sean. This is the NFC, so we can move on.
Yes, we can move on. But I think we're all playing like actually, never mind. That's not true. But I know that there is a lot of NFC North matchups. Well, two of them again next week for us.
Yes.
Cowboys were obviously on a bye. I do just want to say rest in peace to Marshawn Kneeland. Like, that was awful. Nobody wants that, and mental health is real. So that's tough. So I'd be remiss if I didn't mention it, and it's really unfortunate. And at this point, all we can do is pray, and it is sadly ironic that Dak Prescott literally has it on his wristband, ask for help, and he's always been an advocate for mental health. So as much as you might dislike the Cowboys, I think everybody can get on board with supporting the Cowboys. And I know that they went – I think Solomon Thomas led a charge. I know he's been a big mental health advocate. I think too they led a charge and fed a bunch of homeless people after the news of it. So just a big W for the Cowboys community, and a big loss just in general. Losing Marshawn Kneeland. So anything you want to say about that, Jeremy?
Yeah, these guys are obviously people too. They're people first. I think a lot of times when you hear athletes talk about their profession, they go they say they don't say the sport doesn't mean anything to them, but they say that it doesn't define them. It's not who they are. And they're right. They're people first. Obviously, I don't think anybody would say that their work defines them, whatever job they have. And it's important to remember that this stuff strikes everyone. Doesn't everybody can be a victim. Doesn't matter who you are, what you have, etc. Really sad news out of Dallas, and really unfortunate. Hoping that this can help some people, maybe in a different kind of way, in a wake-up call, or just getting help on their own out there after something like this.
Yeah. Well said, Jeremy. Very well said. But you know what? We do need to talk about Week 11, unfortunately. I don't really know how to segue out of that, but let's just talk about Week 11. Jeremy?
Yes.
The Washington Commanders go to Madrid, Spain to play the Miami Dolphins.
Wow.
I bet you everybody's waking up at 9:30 on the East Coast, 8:30 on the Central time, which is where I am. I'm going to be waking up, for this one for sure. It's going to be a good one. Mariota will start again. Same with Tua Tagovailoa. And Dolphins coming off a huge win against the Bills. So
yes.
Jeremy, spread on this one. What are you thinking?
So who's technically the home team? Is it Miami?
Dolphins, yeah, but I don't think anybody actually has home.
I don't think so.
I don't think anybody's traveling. I think they're gonna have to give away free tickets to people in Spain.
Oh my God, yeah.
They're definitely not going to like football Americano after watching this one. Well, maybe they will. Who knows?
You can tie technically in the NFL. I'll say, I won't overthink it. I'll say Miami minus 2.5.
No, that's exactly what it is.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. I'll go first prediction here. I think it's going to suck.
Yes, that's the best prediction we have.
Touchdowns that will be scored will be sloppy, but I think that the Dolphins are the better team here still. And I will go on this one. Dolphins 20, Commanders 14.
Okay.
Which more points than I think, it's still not a great game.
Yeah. It's weird because points wise, I feel like when you have two bad teams, you can either score a lot or not score at all. I really don't know.
Their defenses suck, to be fair.
Either team could win. I don't want to the last week's Miami game against the Bills is interesting, but I don't want to put too much stock in like a broken clock is right twice a day at least.
Yeah.
Ay, ay, ay. 21-20 Miami.
All right. Cool. All right. All
That
right.
felt dirty having to pick that game, Sean. My God.
Well, hey, the Commanders cover the spread there, so
Yeah.
we'll see. Let's see. We were totally off on just looking at the. Actually, Jeremy, you were pretty close to the Lions-Commanders game last week. You
Was
guessed
I?
45-13. It ended up being 44-22, but
Okay. A little bit of garbage time scoring from Washington at the end. Okay.
No way, dude. The Giants-Bears, I was so close. I
What did you
switched
say?
it around because I said Giants 27, Bears 24.
Okay.
The Giants just scored that last touchdown, dude.
Wow.
If Jackson Dart didn't get hurt, I would have had that.
That's crazy.
Yeah. That's okay. It was close. Next spread, I believe, is the Green Bay Packers heading to MetLife to play the New York Football Giants with probably Jameis Winston starting.
Yes.
And honestly, maybe that's probably just for the best. Just protect our sweet Jackson Dart's brain. And we have the head coach bump, interim head coach, first game, Mike Kafka, and the Jameis Winston bump. We got 2 bumps happening right here.
Yes. I'll go. I'll go Green Bay -3.5.
No, dude, -7. We suck. Green Bay -7 at home, which is crazy. I do think that the Giants. I think that we fight. Like I said, we have 2 bumps. I mean, although I'd rather have Jackson Dart healthy. I think that he's.
I guess I didn't consider that enough. Yeah.
Yeah. I still think the Giants cover the spread. And I still have faith in the Giants. Okay, Mike Kafka, show them what's up, dude. I'm going New York Football Giants 28, Green Bay Packers 27.
I'll go. I do like that. I'll go. 27-16 Green Bay.
Okay. 16. Okay. All right.
You want more? You want to give you a 17?
I want to. Dude, Jameis Winston's going to be slinging it, dude.
Well, I can't give you a win.
That's fair. That's fair. I just think that we deserve more points.
It would be interesting honestly, if you did have like Jameis from 5 years ago. With the way Green Bay's been playing, maybe a win.
I'm expecting Xavier McKinney to have like 3 picks if Jameis is playing that too, because first off, good. Revenge game, and Jameis Winston throws picks left and right. Then we have the Sunday Night Football game, Detroit going to Philadelphia. Do you already know the spread, or
I did? I did hear the spread last night. I assume it's the same this morning. Eagles -2.5.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Where do you see this one go? Do you want to predict this one first?
It could go either way. I'll be honest. We have 2 good teams. Although I do think Detroit is worse. I shouldn't say is not as good. I'll preface it that way, as they were last year. Oh, I'm gonna go with the Birds. 34.
Ooh, it's gonna be a good game.
27.
Oh, a whole touchdown. I think I'm expecting more from these Birds, man. Or not from the Birds, from the Lions. And if you had to do an Eagle versus a Lion, even though Eagles are majestic in the United States bird,
yes,
I think Lions would kick an Eagle's ass. So that's what I'm going to go for here. I'm going to go I think I'm going to go 37 Lions.
Sheesh.
34.
Wow,
Birds.
that would be something.
So I still have the 34 points. I'm bringing that. Just like you kept the 27 with the pack, I like the 34 birds. I think we're seeing the same
Yes.
offensive efficiency here.
Interesting.
So, yeah. And then we just can't have an NFC East week without a Monday Night Football game. I swear it's been like the past 5 games. So the Dallas Cowboys go to Las Vegas to play the Raiders. And I picked up Geno Smith as my streaming quarterback because it seemed to work against all quarterbacks playing against the Cowboys. This will probably be another week where he sucks. But what is the spread here, Jeremy?
It's in Vegas.
In Vegas.
Dallas minus 5.5.
Minus 3.5. Fair. Close enough.
That's what.
It's a weird spread, anyways. If it's like in between a field goal and a touchdown,
right?
Like you buy points for that usually.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah. They say right. They say 3.5 and 4.5 are the awkward numbers. Yep.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. You feel comfortable with that range, the minus 2.5, minus 3, minus 3.5, and then you go high. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, you know what I'm gonna do here? I think this is gonna be a duke it out of some. You know what? Like unlike last week, like we had 2 really good teams playing on Monday Night Football, and the game sucked.
Yeah.
I think this week we're gonna have 2 really bad teams playing on Monday Night Football, and they're gonna go off. I'm saying
that's what I was saying. Yeah, right.
Yeah. I'm going Cowboys. Dude, I'm talking gun fest. I'm talking Cowboys 40, Raiders 38. I don't know how they get there, but that's what I'm going for. I'm going to give it to the Cowboys. Plus, honestly, I want them to keep winning. I want them in that intermediate, have a bad draft pick, stuff like that.
Yeah.
What do you got here, Jeremy?
Oh, it's tough. I do think there's going to be a lot of scoring, even though Vegas, I don't know, with their offense. I'll say Dallas. But then again with Dallas. I'll say Dallas 31. No, I want them to cover. 34. Dallas 26 Raiders.
Oh, good. You're going pro Dallas. See, we don't hate the Cowboys.
It's not that. Raiders suck.
Yeah, Raiders do suck. But I think that is an episode. Who do you guys want the New York Football Giants to pick for their new head coach? Do you think that Joe Schoen should be fired? Do you think Shane Bowen should be deported? Comment below what you think, and we'll get back to you on that next episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. Jeremy, any final words here?
Nah, I just want to know what country Shane Bowen's going to be deported to.
Probably Madrid, He'll go to Madrid. He'll pick up a job with the Dolphins.
That's right.
As a linebackers coach. I'm calling it. All right. Well, thank you. We're the Beasts of the NFC East. And have a great rest of your week. Peace.